Hi everybody, welcome to Friends Together and our platforms across our social media. Mainly I think this is going to be on our YouTube channel, and I guess by default that will put you on all of our different media platforms. I am really new at this whole cross-platform thing. I know about Facebook and that's about it, but all my young people are taking care of this, so they have me giving you a little bit of introduction on who we are and what we do. So my name is Kathy Robinson Pickett, and I, along with my late husband Steve Pickett, founded Friends Together almost 2 decades ago now. In 1999, on top of being HIV positive, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and went through a long treatment process and found myself at what I thought was the end of my life. And one day my husband looked at me and said, "What do you want to do with the rest of your life?" And in that moment, I really didn't know what the answer to that was, but I knew that I wanted to leave something that was bigger than me behind, and he wanted to do that too. He wanted to make sure that I had the ability to leave something bigger than me behind. And so together with our friends, we came up with the idea of starting Friends Together. And basically, that's how our nonprofit was born. Originally, Friends Together worked mainly in the state of Florida. We provided a safe haven for families infected and affected with HIV and AIDS to come to camp. We hosted multiple camps a year, most of them weekend camps, where families, whatever someone's family was, gay couples, straight couples, single families, single parent families, moms, dads, whatever, foster families, gay couples, straight couples, it didn't matter. Whatever somebody's family was, we brought them to camp, and at camp we helped them get a plan to live instead of a plan to die. And that was our original mission, was to help people figure out how to create a new life after they were diagnosed with HIV, and to help families create a new future for themselves. I myself have been HIV positive since July 4th, 1984. So I've been living with HIV a very long time at this point. I have 2 beautiful children, Lindsay and Garrett, who are 26 and 27 now, and are not HIV positive, and are a huge part of the work that I do behind the scenes and in front of everything that goes on as well. The foundation has grown over the years. In 2003, Steve came home from work one day, came into the kitchen, kissed me on top of the head, and that was always a sign that he was either going to say something that I wasn't going to like, or something that was going to cost a whole lot of money, or both. And usually it was going to be both, and it was. He said, "I have an idea. We are going to go to Tanzania, Africa, and we are going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro as a fundraiser for Friends Together." There was no we in that. Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest freestanding mountain in the world, and it's 20 degrees below zero at the top a lot of times, and I could not picture a we in that in any stretch of the imagination. But sure enough, about 10 months after that, we took a group of volunteers, and they climbed the mountain while myself and Ken, one of our other volunteers, stayed at the bottom. Steve summited. He had turned 50 that year. It was a really big deal. As he came down the mountain, I tell people he looked like Moses. He had grown a beard. He had not taken a shower in 8 days. He was really dirty and really smelly, and he was carrying spiral notebooks. And those spiral notebooks were basically the edicts of how we were going to spend the rest of our life, and how Tanzania was going to be a big part of that. Tanzania is disproportionately affected by HIV, as many African countries are. We had fallen in love with the country the second our feet had hit the ground. Both Steve and I had grown up in families where service is important, and we knew we couldn't be there, raise money, leave, and not do anything else. I mean, we had bought a few medical supplies and stuff, but he knew and I both knew that it was going to be a big part of the rest of our life. So we came back to Florida and immediately started planning a huge trip back. At that time, I worked at Florida Southern College, and so the college became a big part of that plan as well. Shortly after our return, Steve was tragically killed in a car accident, and so life began to change dramatically, not just for me and Lindsay and Garrett, but for the 400 kids that are part of Friends Together and called us their family. And I tell people all the time, when Steve died, it would have been easy for me to pull the covers over my head and say, this is it. I have 2 children that call me Mom, but I had 400 other children that called me Mama Kathy. And all 400 of those kids expected me to get up and continue to do what I do so that they could continue to get plans to live. So there really wasn't a choice about it. I couldn't stay in the bed. So we continued on. And a few weeks, maybe a month after Steve died, Garrett decided he was going to climb Kilimanjaro that next summer and take Steve's ashes to the top. At that time, Garrett was 13, and in my brain, the only mountain he was going to climb was Stone Mountain in Atlanta, Georgia. But sure enough, all of his 8th grade year, Garrett got up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, went to the gym and trained, and that next summer, he sure did it. He went to Tanzania with myself and a whole bunch of other volunteers. We took tons of medical supplies, and Garrett climbed that mountain, and he did. He took Steve's ashes to the top, and that started us on a new kind of journey, I think. One that became more about legacy as well as the whole big picture. So our journey has evolved a lot over time. It's 2017 at this point. We've ebbed and flowed with the economy. Things have gone up and down. Our Friends Together children in Florida have grown up. Most of them are grown. Sometimes they don't always act grown, but most of them are grown. Most of them have done very well. We never expected to see a lot of them make it to middle school, and instead a lot of them have graduated from college and are thriving. Have all of them made it? No, but so many more than we could have ever expected. Our Florida programs have evolved. Everything has evolved. We're no longer HIV specific. We do things now that are around social justice, so it's more big picture things. HIV is still the root of who we are because HIV is still my life, and as long as I'm living, HIV and sexual assault issues and domestic violence issues will always continue to be a huge part of what Friends Together does. But social justice issues and everything that surrounds what we do has become a big part of who we are and the things that we do. So there are always things that people can do to volunteer for us, whether you're in the United States or somewhere else, whether you're in the South or you're in the North or you're in California. We have things for you to do. Our Tanzania programs have grown tremendously. At this moment, we are raising money to build a tailoring school. Our biggest projects in Tanzania are the fact that we realize that girls and women are at a huge disadvantage because they don't have access to sanitary products. And so last year, we made it our goal to be involved in a program to make reusable sanitary pads. And so that's what we do. We have a tailoring school that is for students who are infected and affected with HIV that we partner with. And those students make reusable sanitary pads, which we purchase from them, and then we distribute to schoolgirls and young women so that they can go to school and they can go to work. And so it's a full circle. And so the school that they currently have is the size of your kitchen. It's about 129, 130 square feet. So 6 girls can fit in there. So our commitment is to build a much larger school. $12,000 builds and outfits a school in Tanzania. So our goal before June of 2018 is to raise $12,000 for that and $10,000 for this year's pads. Last year, we raised $5,500 for pads. Basically, it's $1 a pad. That supplies a pad, pays the girl, and gives the program that makes the pads a little bit of money too. So basically, $1 a pad changes a girl's life, you know. So that's what we're doing. And that school will also be used on the weekends, hopefully, to house an HIV clinic. Everything's dual purpose in Tanzania, everything. So we do have projects where we do home visits, home health visits, and we have several schools that we supply textbooks and those kinds of things for. We have two main projects that we partner with, and it's TAFCOM and Zara Charity. And we stay pretty focused on those. And then we have TanzaCare, which is an organization in the United States who has programs in Tanzania that are our friends, and we do what we can do to help them. And their on-the-ground person, Usaya. So those are basically the three organizations that we stay focused on. We're small, you know, so we can't do everything for everybody. So we know that we have to keep our focus narrow. We would love to do everybody that contacts us, but we can't. We're a 100% volunteer organization. No one gets paid, including me. We survive on private donations and private grants. The first charge that we made when Steve and I decided to do this was to not take government money so that we weren't limited in who we could help. Because I believe if you come from the place of the heart, you can always make the biggest difference. And so that's pretty much who we are and what we do. The one question people always want to know is, how about your kids? Lindsay and Garrett are not HIV positive. Only 20% of children born to a mother with HIV in Western worlds will contract HIV, and that's without medication. With medication, we drop that to less than 4%, and in the state of Florida, it's way less than 2% at this point. So I'm very fortunate to have two amazing kids that will be able to carry the legacy on as far as they want to go. So if you're interested in volunteering for us, there is so much you can do. Our easiest project is Change for Change. Anybody can do it. You save your change, you get your community organization, your firehouse, your child's school organization, your girls club, your boys club, whoever, to save either by denomination. It started out being dimes, but last year people were saving everything, and that's fine. Save your quarters, yay. Whatever that is, and then you do it for a hour period of time. We have different ways you can do it, but that goes toward the Sanitary Napkin Project. We can give community service hours, all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of other things you can do too. We need pen pals, there's just tons of stuff you can do. So it doesn't matter where you are. We collect supplies. Please, if you have medical supplies, if you're a medical professional, they're getting close to date, we transport things. Dates don't matter for us, those kinds of things. And we also collect samples, hotel samples, stuff like that we make for domestic violence shelters, rape recovery centers, and for, in this time of year, hurricane relief. So our other big project are solar lights. We have an Amazon wish list. It's on our Facebook page and our website, which is FriendsTogether.org. Our solar lights are incredible. Oops, I gotta stand up. These save lives and change lives. These little incredible solar lights saved my life through Hurricane Irma. I'm going to tell you, we were 2 weeks basically without power. If we hadn't had these, I don't know what we'd have done. These have no batteries in them. We take them to Tanzania. The region we work in, electricity is very non-existent for most of the HIV women that we work with. So 2 solar lights literally light up their house. Before all the hurricanes, these were $10 a piece. Now they're about $12, $13 a piece. But $4 or $44 on Amazon. Literally, they change people's lives. And so These are amazing. Right now we're collecting them for Puerto Rico, so if anybody wants to help with the hurricane relief, that's on our website as well. But we're always collecting them for Tanzania. And so you can get them in the marine stores as well as on Amazon. And some Walmarts and Targets have them in their camping supply areas. So that's kind of who we are. Our history is long. We are solid. Our volunteers come and go. The epidemic has changed the face of who we are somewhat. We started out as being primarily a white gay man volunteer organization, and me, because that's who was impacted by the epidemic. Lots of those people have passed. We honor our history and we move forward as we go. So we take volunteers no matter who you are, and we would love to have your help. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for checking us out, and we hope that you will want to be a part of who we are. So our website, FriendsTogether.org. Our Twitter is, we have several, but Friends Together, HIV Education, or Straight Talk Pod. All of those will get to us. And our Facebook, our public Facebook is Friends Together with a hyphen in it. And then my personal Facebook is Kathy Robinson Pickett. Thanks for joining us.